An Apple a Day by Hyperme. Chapter 7.
Well, gentlemen, another girl was kidnapped and murdered.
El said solemnly to his investigation team.
I have sent you all a copy of the report. Please check your emails. When you are done reading, we will discuss it.
His team nodded and turned away from him to their computers. El pulled up his own copy of the report and read it again in case he missed something. It was too early, El thought, biting his thumb. The pattern has been broken. For the past 13 weeks, there had been one attack per every 2 weeks. Just last week, a man had been killed during brain surgery, and just yesterday, a woman was killed. She, just like the rest of the victims, was young, gorgeous, and in college for pre-med. When she was found the next morning, she looked completely fine. No cuts, no broken bones, no amputations. But that was until they noticed an empty gallon of lighter fluid tossed mercilessly to the side. The police saw no burn marks on her skin until they took off her clothes. There, throughout her butt, were singe marks. A coroner was called in to examine her. After some exams back in his lab, he revealed that her entire colon was drowned in lighter fluid before a thin, flexible tube that was lit on fire was shoved in the colon like an endoscopy.
El,
Deputy Yagami asked.
we are ready for you now.
Ah, yes, good. El looked at the disgusted faces of the investigation team.
As I'm sure you all noticed, Isha's murders are becoming more and more severe the longer he remains uncaught. We are in need of another plan. Does anyone have any suggestions?
Matsuda waved his hand in the air, calling, "Oh! Oh!" like a monkey would. El ignored him and chose Aizawa and his calmly raised arm.
Aizawa-san, do you have an idea? I was thinking maybe we should hire someone to pose as a possible victim. Then we could watch them, and if Isha picks our man, we could trace them down.
El bit his thumb, replaying the information in his head.
That sounds like a very plausible idea, Aizawa-san. Good job.
But how will we know what club he'll be hitting next? Matsuda asked, jumping in. He picks them at random.
There's a 78% chance he will choose a club in Hiroshima since he has yet to attack that city, and the pattern looks as if he's jumping north, west, south, east, then south, west, northeast. There are quite a few, so we'll select the biggest and most populated nightclubs and have one proxy victim stand in each one. For each proxy, a small tracing chip and camera will be placed on their clothes, and we will watch them through monitors.
When should we send out the proxies?
Deputy Yagami asked.
Isha before killed every 2 weeks, but now he's killing every week. How will we know when he'll choose to attack?
We will not know, Yagami-san. We have no other choice than to switch the proxies around at each club until either one of them is kidnapped or Isha strikes again.
Matsuda made a groaning noise. Oh, this is going to eat up all my personal time.
Speak for yourself.
Aizawa growled at him.
You don't have a wife and a 5-year-old at home.
Matsuda blinked. You're right, Aizawa. He turned to Mogi. Do you have any family, Mogi? The stolid man shook his head no. Well, I know you have a family, Chief. Do you miss them at all? Deputy Yagami smiled slightly.
Yes, every day. I see my wife whenever I get the chance to go home, but I don't get to see my kids that often. The youngest is busy with college, and the eldest is a highly sought-out doctor. I'm very proud of them both, though.
El scoffed in his mind about his highly sought-out son. Mikami is sure the indication, El thought, and Misa was after him too for a while.
Raito-kun should have joined the MPA,
Aizawa said.
He would be an excellent detective.
What about you, El? Matsuda asked, leaving the group as they rambled on about the chief's family. Do you have any family? You work a lot, so you probably would miss them terribly. El paused before answering.
I suppose in a way I've got family. Yes, I have 2 family members, one who is with me constantly, like a watchful grandfather, and the other I do miss terribly.
Sometimes Watari felt like James Bond or some sort of secret agent, going behind El's back to buy apples, hide them, and then sneak them into his food. The front attack of straight out handing him an apple and saying, "Eat it," won't cut it. Instead, he tried to cut apples into the smallest chunks he could, sneaking them into his cake, cupcakes, pancakes, or anything El asks him of. Unfortunately, El always manages to find them before he can take the first bite and throw the food out the window to the homeless man. He would then order the same exact dessert, reminding the elder man to skip the apples. Watari sighed, baking another batch of cookies. At least someone was getting a healthy diet. It was Tuesday. After 4 days of watching and waiting for the next murder to occur through video cameras, El was beat.
4 days of watching people do the bump and grind through 50 people at once. Elle didn't know how long his brain could take unintelligent drunks stumbling around anymore. 4 days, 10 bars, clubs a night, 40 long videos in all. Throughout this entire thing, Elle only learned 2 things. 1, he has no sexual preference towards anyone except Raito. Believe him, if watching 4 days of what seemed like a mixture of girls and boys gone wild and kinky porno tapes and you got no physical response out of it, then you got a problem. And 2, he was in an odd mood to drag Raito there and bump and grind against that appetizing ass. With that in mind, Elle picked out the disease of the week, a sickening smile spreading on his face. In the 2 seconds Raito had been in the room, he was jumped on, again, landed on the floor, again, with a panda-like man cuddling on his chest. Again!
Please tell me you won't fall asleep again,
Raito muttered, almost threatening, failing to push the detective off of him.
The last thing I need is you sleeping on top of me.
Raito-kun is once again no fun, Elle said, staring at the doctor. He is, on the other hand, looking very delicious today, most definitely very delicious. I want to lock him up so no one but me shall taste such deliciousness. The delicious doctor raised an eyebrow.
Is there something you need that has a high chance of me smacking you if you did not try to butter me up first?
Elle bit back a groan as he pictured Raito naked, rubbing butter seductively over himself. Keep going, he told himself. Elle raised his hands and threaded them through the doctor's soft, honey-colored hair. He leaned forward, lips brushing Raito's ear. My sweet, sweet doctor, I seem to have a problem I am hoping you were able to fix, he whispered, hissing out the last word. He felt Raito stiffen underneath him and began to struggle. Unfortunately, depending on who is asked, the brunette's hands were trapped in between the 2 bodies, and when Raito started to squirm, his hands touched sensitive areas. Elle clamped his mouth over Raito's warm neck, trying to stifle the moans attempting to escape. That only caused the doctor to struggle more. Stop! He bit harder. He didn't think it would feel this good or want it this bad. Dreams were one thing, the real deal was another. Oh God, those hands! It didn't take too long before Raito ceased his struggles abruptly. His eyes were wide in disbelief. You... Something snapped in his wide chocolate eyes as he tried harder to free himself. Papa, go right now! God damn Ryuga, when You called me Ryuga! Elle gasped in delight, releasing Raito's bruised neck. You called me by my first name, and there were no honorifics. Say it again. This is not the time! Come damn it, get off! Raito nearly shrieked. If I were to release Raito-kun, he would only attack me. You're goddamn right I won! I will release Raito-kun under 2 conditions. 1, he must resist the urge to hit me, no matter how tempting that desire might be. And 2, he must call me Ryuga from now on. No honorifics. I will not! Elle shifted his hips slightly downward, and Raito screamed in response, Fine! Just get off! Elle jumped off, although reluctant, and stood there making no attempts to hide the very obvious bulge in his pants. Raito rushed to his feet, refusing to meet eyes with the detective. I hate you! You know that? Raito-kun might feel that way right now, but soon I will convert him to thinking otherwise, Elle said. Just sit down! Elle nodded and crawled on the examination table. He was slightly uncomfortable sitting in his crouched way with his hard erection in the confinement of his jeans, but he didn't dare move. He didn't want to appear weak in front of his doctor. What is it this week? Raito asked, looking apprehensive as he fixed his pristine white coat from across the room. Well, I was going to say I had erectile dysfunction, but Raito-kun appeared to have cured it. He smiled in a creepy, toothy grin. I noticed that! Raito cried, pointing an accusing finger in the direction of Elle's pants. How do you know? Elle teased, biting his lip. What could possibly make you think you had erectile dysfunction? You probably stole a picture of me off of the internet and jack off to it every night, you pervert! I rest assure you, Raito-kun, that is not the case. Sadly, I do not own a picture of you, but if Raito-kun would like to give me one, hell no! Just tell me why you had to choose that problem this week. These past few days, I have been to a couple of bars and nightclubs just for the sake of trying them out for the first time. While I was there, I saw events one would only see on a highly expensive and very satisfying porn tape. Throughout that entire experience, I have failed to receive any stimulation, and I figured maybe something was indeed wrong with me. But all of that was cured when I saw Raito-kun today.
Raito opened his mouth and then closed it again.
I do not believe I want to discuss this. Whatever shall I do, Raito-kun?
L asked, inwardly thankful that his burning erection was dying now.
It is highly unusual that I am attracted to no one except Raito-kun, and I believe I do have erectile dysfunction. I propose that Raito-kun becomes my sex therapy coach.
No!
No.
No!
Boo. Even if I was slightly interested in becoming your sex therapy coach, which I'm not, I couldn't because I am not licensed to be one. Although I could recommend you one if you would like. I heard Teru-kun is looking for a partner to go with. Maybe the two of you could team up?
No.
No? No.
Raito grinned, and L could see calculations through those hot chocolate eyes of his. He rose from his chair and raided through his cabinets.
What is Raito-kun looking for?
L mused aloud.
A solution to your problem. Raito-kun is looking for a condom for us to use.
L took personal offense when Raito ignored him, humming a song even. Apparently, Raito found what he was looking for because he turned around, walked up to L, smiling greatly.
What is...
L froze in astonishment as Raito willingly kissed him. L's cry of shock was muffled by Raito's cotton candy lips and even took the opportunity of L's open mouth to slip in his tongue. He pushed down his legs and leaned in close, chests touching. The doctor's palms were pressed against the wall, trapping him between lean arms. L played along, determined not to lose this battle. Their tongues clashed, poked and slid along the other's tongue and mouth. Dear mercy of heaven, did he miss that toffee taste? L wrapped his arms around Raito's waist and yanked him in closer, and in response the brunette turned his head to get better access. He removed his hands from the wall, threading them into the soft raven hair. Raito moved into the kiss, his mouth vibrating onto his lips. L felt something slip down his throat, and he gagged, pulling his lips off the doctor.
What did you do?
L snapped.
What the hell did you do to me?
I'm assisting you in your problem, of course, Raito said, feigning almost perfect innocence. His devilish eyes gave him away.
It's my duty as your doctor. What did you do to me?
L asked slowly and angrily, like he was scolding a small child. Raito smiled like the angel he wishes he was, and trapped L's lips in another lip lock. He attempted to push him away, but the grip in his hair was too strong. He was overcome with a strange sense of déjà vu and uncontrollable lust. He responded, giving into the kiss as strongly as his partner was. There's no way Raito-kun would kiss me just because he wanted to. The first kiss must have been to get a pill in my mouth. I definitely felt a pill slip down my throat. What kind of pill was it, though? Hopefully it's a placebo given to me for Raito-kun's amusement to watch me have a heart attack over it. There is an 85% chance that it is not a placebo, but a real pill. He said it was helping the problem. It must have something to do with the fact that he is kissing me currently. He wouldn't kiss me without a reason. It suddenly struck L what pill it was, only 5 seconds before the effects started to take place. L quickly shoved Raito away from him and rushed out of the room. He sprinted down the hall into the bathroom. He slammed the door and slid down it, breathing harshly.
Oh no. Oh please no.
Ryuga? Raito asked, sounding like he's trying to stifle his laughter. Too bad he was failing.
Are you okay, Ryuga?
L hated the stress on his alias Raito had purposely placed.
Viagra. You gave me Viagra.
Yes. Is your erectile dysfunction cured?
God damn it, yes!
He felt something hit the lower part of his back. Raito had slipped in something under the door crack. Here, use it well.
L picked up the magazine Raito had given him and flipped the first page open. He dropped it in fright.
What the hell?
He yelled at the doctor through the door, staring in horror at the buff, naked man, flexing his one-too-many muscles as he sent L a predatory glance, a rose in between his shiny white teeth.
That's to help you with your little problem. Mr. Chan said this edition was a favorite, and I thought you both have similar tastes in men, so I gave it to you. I also threw in an extra pill in case you enjoy yourself so much the first time. Have fun!
L growled at the stupid man trying to seduce him on the glossy magazine page. He threw the magazine against the wall, watching as it bounced and fell into the toilet. He was hot, he was horny, he was angry as hell, he was asexual toward every man in that stupid book, and he wanted to drag Raito and that delicious ass of his into the bathroom to help him with his little problem. El hesitantly reached into his pants and hissed as his cold hands brushed against his erection.
God damn you, Raito Yagami.
He tried to touch himself, but he couldn't. He couldn't bring himself to perform such a degrading act. This is what Raito wanted him to do, to put him in a terrible situation he wasn't in charge of. The first one in Raito's room was acceptable. El could control the situation. Everything was according to plan. The second one, right here in the bathroom, was nothing more than Raito's revenge. This was all to win the bet. Raito had only kissed him to win the bet. Raito had purposely gotten him horny to win the bet. And El would be damned if he didn't come back with something. He scanned his brain for information he had learned about sildenafil drugs. 4 hours later, El's ears perked up at the sound of a knock on the bathroom door.
Ryuga, are you still in there?
You couldn't possibly not be done.
I'm afraid Raito-sensei that the Viagra has not worn off yet.
What? El heard Raito ask in shocked terror. Ryuga, please do not kid around. Has the Viagra truly not worn off yet, the first one? The first Viagra is still working.
Yes, Raito-sensei, the first Viagra.
Are you sure? Positively sure?
Once again, Raito-sensei, the Viagra is in full force. The magazine does nothing for me.
El could feel Raito's nervousness radiating from the other side of the door. Ryuga, you do realize that an erection that lasts longer than 4 hours is extremely dangerous, correct?
Maybe Raito-sensei should have considered the side effects of the pill then, no?
How was I supposed to know that you would be so affected by them? Raito shouted. Most people do not develop a long-lasting erection. Didn't you try to do something?
Of course I did, Raito-sensei. What do you think I've been doing in here for the past 4 hours?
It should have gone away by now!
Once again, Raito-sensei should have considered that.
God damn it, Ryuga, open the door!
But I'm in such a pitiful state right now, Doctor. El said back. I don't want you to see me right now.
Open it, I said!
Only on one condition.
Ryuga, I swear I'm going to—
No, just listen, please, Raito-kun.
He heard the doctor sigh and took that as an approval to continue.
Raito-kun wants to help me out, right? After all, it will all be his fault if I get permanent damage to my penis because of the long-lasting erection. He could practically feel the anger and guilt through the door. Now I need some help to finish my problem.
I gave you the magazine.
I said before that the magazine does nothing for me.
Then I'll buy you a Playboy magazine.
That will also do nothing. If Raito-kun will recall my earlier statement 4 hours ago, I was at multiple clubs for the past few days, and I got no stimulation, which was why I brought it up today. All those multiple clubs, seeing nearly naked men and women against each other, bored me to tears, but not Raito-kun. In only a few minutes, I was cured. I am not straight, gay, bisexual, or asexual, just Raito-sexual.
Oh, dear God, he named it after me.
He heard Raito groan. Yes, I believe the only way to cure my Viagra-induced erection is for Raito-kun to help me out.
No, I won't. It's completely unprofessional.
But is it forcing your patient to take Viagra by mouth to mouth also unprofessional?
There was a brief moment of silence. I can't. I won't. I will not have sex with you, Ryuga.
It doesn't have to be sex, Raito-kun. It could be a hand job, a blow job, but
it falls into the same category. I can't do it.
This is quite painful, Raito-sensei, being erect for over 4 hours. It's your fault.
There was another moment of silence before a sharp bang, sounding like the doctor had punched the wall. I hate you so much, Ryuga! El could barely hear Raito mutter a curse under his breath. Open the door! El ignored that fact that Raito sounded like he was signing himself away for the devil and opened the door, hiding part of his body behind the door. Raito looked at him like he was unafraid, but his caramel eyes showed unspoken pleading for El to reconsider. El waved his hand as if to invite the doctor in. As Raito turned around to face him, El captured the back of his neck and cheek in his hands and kissed him hard. Raito momentarily buckled under the pressure El was putting in the kiss, but caught himself soon, kissing back almost unwillingly. El heard little moans as he nibbled on Raito's bottom lip. He was still unresponsive. He curled his tongue around Raito's and sucked. The doctor clutched at his white sweater as El stroked his hair and cheek. He pulled Raito closer, grinding their hips together, and instantly regretted it as he felt an angry growl vibrate against his lips. Raito pulled his head back, releasing El's lips. You're not erect! El quickly stole the kiss, shoving his tongue in Raito's mouth before pulling back with an odd smack. Nope. He released the doctor, watching him, who was using El as a support beam, fall to the floor. His hot chocolate eyes were wide in shock, anger, and distrust. He bent forward, petting the soft honey hair. Raito stared wide-eyed and mouth gaped at him, too shocked to move.
Raito-kun has been such a bad boy. I felt the need to punish him.
He moved closer, lips just barely touching the other, taunting and fueling the desire.
And I shall punish him hard and well.
He gripped the handful of honey-colored hair and bawled. Raito shrieked. Taking control of the opportunity, El plunged in his tongue, memorizing every little detail. The doctor tried to pull back, but even the slightest movement would cause terrible pain in his scalp. He groaned quietly. El brought up a hand and lightly, oh so lightly, fingered the butterscotch dead neck. He shivered. As El brought his lips onto his neck, he was pushed away harshly. He did not fight to regain control as the other scrambled backwards, hitting his back on the toilet.
What did you do?
Raito whispered, then yelled,
What the hell did you do to me?
I'm assisting you in your problem, of course.
El said, feigning almost perfect innocence. The devilish eyes gave him away.
It's my duty as your patient.
What did you do to me?
Raito shrieked.
Word of advice, Raito-kun.
El said, pausing on his way out of the bathroom door.
Never give a genius a reason for revenge and an extra pill of Viagra.
He slammed the door shut to give Raito and his little problem some time alone.